intervened and declared Section 43 of the law as unconstitutional, thereby hindering people. But is it in Ghana? I can tell you that Ghana Parliament has actually sanctioned that. So let's see what is going to happen there. 6/3 has please break demonstration in Kenya. 6/3 has please broke cost of living demonstrations in Kenya, which took place yesterday. Zimbabwe election, court cancels candidacy of Mugabe ally. And who is that? And why have they cancelled it? Doesn't he qualify? Okay, more going to be coming your way from there. It's all STARR Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And the person is Kasakuwere, who is not being allowed to run for president. Is it that Mnangagwa is scared of him? That maybe some sympathizers of Mugabe will go with him? Well. STARR Radio UK. STARR Radio UK. Okay, let's move on to some other stories making the rounds on the African continent. And Binduri SHS closure, government pretense over challenges with FSHS won't help students. That's what one of the opposition members is saying. A PAC is saying this morning. And as Addison is breaching Bank of Ghana Act over failure to publish financial statements. That's what the minority is saying. So in Ghana, it looks like some of the institutions are bigger than the regulators or but I'll be telling you more about that. So here where Parliament can call anybody, any firm, any organization, any of the leaders of the industries, whether they are even private or public sector industries, and they respond like no man's business. When in Ghana, when they are called or summoned, well, they tell you that, you know what, I'm not coming, what can you do? But we'll tell you more about that. So do you think that our democracy is working at all? Okay, explain why we owe suppliers despite 3 billion Ghana cedis approved by the FSHS in 2023 up to government. Was that money used for something else? Diversification? Now people are asking if Commissioner Mensah is complicit in AWW brutality. That is our Yawaso West War gone. Let me tell you more about all that. Some lovely tune this morning playing in the background from Best Bessie, the little girl who plays the saxophone. Welcome your way from STARR Radio UK. And best regard to you, my bishop, as well. Okay, on the latest story that I did talk about, the plot to actually out the IGP, Dampare. Now, more evidence of plots to oust Dampare pops up. Another senior police officer is implicated. This around Victoria once, you know. My goodness. Okay, in other parts of the world as well, moving on straight on. The Green Coast Guard pressured migrant boat survivors. New evidence further challenges official version of last month's deadly sinking. When they're saying that about 83 people died, and apparently more than 500 people are said to have lost their lives. So this all coming away from STARR Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station. China has been accused of hijacking U.S. government emails. The U.S. Secretary of Commerce was among those impacted by the breach, according to reports. In the past, it's been Russia, but this time around China. The deadly heat wave sweeps across southern Europe. The heat wave could potentially lead to record-breaking temperatures, forecasters are saying. And I'll be talking about that. I say if you are bound to travel to any of the states, call it Europe for your holidays or summer holidays. Hey, check. If you have to get yourself that neck fan or something of the sort, you got to. And then lots of hydration will be needed there. Bishop Adesina says court has given DSS 1 week to charge MFLA or release him. But you know the DSS, oh my goodness, didn't the court say that Chief Sunday, my apologies, what do you call, yes, Chief Sunday should be awarded how many millions? 20 million or billion, whatever it was. Well, they didn't even adhere to that. And then they said, release Nnamdi Kanu as well, because they don't find that he's not capable for anything. He should be released. And after now, he's still being held. So will the DSS adhere to that? And that's another question for another day. Now, Russia general fired after criticizing army leaders. So more of the generals are actually criticizing the army leaders. And this time around, they didn't want to do it like what happened with the Wagner boss. So this time around, they decided to fire him. A top Russian general says he has been removed from his post in Ukraine after telling military chiefs the truth about the dire situation on the front line. Major General Ivan Popov was the commander of the 58th Army, which has been fighting in the southern Zaporizhia region. In a voice message, Major General Popov said he raised questions about high casualty rate and lack of artillery support. It was necessary either to keep quiet and be a coward or to say it the way it is, he said. I had no right to lie in the name of you, in the name of my fallen comrades in arms. So I outlined all the problems which exist. Well, he's been fired for that. So is the war or the soldiers in the battlefront actually, saying something different, and those in the Kremlin also singing a new song by a different tune to, yeah, whatever it is, it's Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time down to 2 minutes past the top of the hour, and we are bringing you Global Crossing. Bringing you updates from Nigeria in 3 moments, so just bear with me. Now, lots of the stories going to come your way as well. Hugh Edwards in hospital, as his name as in the BBC row. His wife said she issued a statement primarily out of concern for his mental well-being. And Gina, that starts longest strike in NHS history. It looks like the Prime Minister is saying, you know what, we have to look at the things differently. Now we have to go back to salary, what do they call them? That body that sees to regulate the salaries of government workers and public workers. And say, maybe we'll have to look at the 6% increment that they're talking about there. But would that not appease them? And would that not flame the inflation that is going on? And would that not in turn cause a high interest rate? The Bank of England, the governor of the Bank of England to also now come and say, you know what, I've increased it once again. Oh my goodness. What's going to be coming your way this morning? If you are traveling as well, airport drop-off fees soar by nearly a third. That is what the RAC is saying. My goodness there. Okay, Star Radio UK. We're going to take a quick musical break, and once we come back, we'll have this online correctly on. But well, Bishop Adesina says, let's see if fundamental human rights sealed of MFLA can work, while others sealed and right refuses to work in Nigeria. So we're all going to be waiting. Well, former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, who has been in incarceration with the DSS, we'll see. But he's saying that it is a lawless society. He doesn't believe that anything good is going to come out from there. But let's all watch it very, very closely. Who knows? Well. Let's enjoy this song from Shadrach Mensah, Ghanaian gospel artist there, and this is the after.
So we join in just about a few minutes. Because I always have a problem with that. So while I'm just almost ready to join the Star Radio UK, we might as well just listen to these just for a few minutes, and then we go back into the conversation.
wà lórí program yẹn àtẹ̀yìn mọ̀mọ́ mi pátápátá àtẹ̀yìn mídíà pátápátá àtẹ̀yìn àǹtí mi àtẹ̀yìn brọ́dà mi mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri ayé pátápátá àtọmọdé àtàgbà mo kí pé gbogbo àdúró tì mí Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tó lọ́run tó bá mi dúró tì tọmọtọmọ orí mi wú inú mi dùn ẹ̀dẹ̀ jẹ́ kí ọkàn mi balẹ̀ pé Ọlọ́run mo dẹ̀ ní gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nígbà tí mo ṣe mi ò kábàámọ̀ pé mo sì nǹkan ṣe inú mi dùn gan ayọ̀ mi kún lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ pé ohun tẹ́ ẹ ṣe ó wú mi lórí ó jọ mí lójú gan pé ayé ṣe gbógun tọ́ta gbógun pé wọ́n ń wá gbogbo ọ̀nà kí àwọn sáà gbógun ti nǹkan tá à ń ṣe bọ̀ ẹ̀ ń kí mi láyà pé kí n fọkàn mi balẹ̀ Ọlọ́run bẹ lẹ́yìn ẹ̀sìn wà lẹ́yìn mi Ọlọ́run bá tó wá láyé tọ́lọ́run kò ní padà lẹ́yìn tọmọtọmọ kò ní padà lẹ́yìn tí Ọlọ́run torí mo mọ̀ pé wọ́n sọ wọn lóòkú bẹ́ẹ̀ ní àní sí ọ̀yà ẹ̀ pé Yorùbá máa kọ́ ló bẹ̀rù láti Ọlọ́run nígbà tó wọ́n wá ṣe tí bàbá wa bàbá Bánjí Akíntọ́lá àtàwọn bàbá tí wọ́n wà lẹ́yìn wa tí wọ́n bá ń na fúláàgì Yorùbá nation tó kéde adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run tó fún wa lórílẹ̀ wa wọn ní wẹ́ẹ̀lì kọ̀ọ̀kan wa láti Ọlọ́run pé mo fi kí Ọlọ́run mo fi tọrọ àforíjì fún àwọn bírọ́dà mi bàbá táyà àti ọmọ mi ayéjì pé kí Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tọ́lọ́run kó bá mi ṣàforíjì fún ọ àṣìṣe Ọlọ́run kì í máa ń pè gbogbo nǹkan tó yẹ kó ṣe láyé lórílẹ̀‐èdè Yorùbá tán orí ṣe kí Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tọ́lọ́run kó bá ń fún àwọn ọmọ wọn àwọn ìyàwó wọn ṣe wọ́n sì lè jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Mo tọrọ fún àwọn tí wọ́n kó lọ́nu ilé náà láwọn tó dúró ṣinṣin wọn ò yẹsẹ̀ Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tọ́lọ́run kò ní padà lẹ́yìn tí wọn náà tí àyẹ̀kẹ́ àjẹgbé fún wọn láwọn tó dúró pé tọkàntọkàn ni wọ́n fi di àyẹ̀ wọ́n sì dúró ti sí náà wọn padà kò ní di àyẹ̀ lájẹgbé gbogbo ẹni pátápátá gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ lọ́gbà ètò ìdìbò ní mo dá ẹgbẹ́ mi lọ́mọ ẹ̀dá pọ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtọkùnrin àtọkùnrin wọ́n náwó lẹ́gbẹ́ lórí láti ilé lóko fún wọn àbúrò ẹ̀ náwó lẹ́ náírà ẹ̀ sì wàhálà ẹ̀ jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ ẹ̀ jẹ́ kí wọ́n kọ́ lọ́rùn ló sì léyìn ẹ̀sẹ̀ ẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ àlọ́run rẹ̀ padà lẹ́yìn gbogbo yìí láti nígbà tẹ́yìn dúró tì mí èmi náà dúró ṣinṣin mi ní dalẹ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá láyé dúró ẹsẹ̀ lẹ́yìn mo wà pẹ̀lú yín títà àbíjọ débi tá lọ pé níyẹsẹ̀ mi dẹ̀ ní dalẹ̀ yín láti Ọlọ́run ẹ̀sìn mi ló Ọlọ́run ẹ̀ padà lẹ́yìn.
And that is Oloye there on July 1st. So as I'm waiting to connect, Moke, Mommy, Pastor Mo, both mentioned or not mentioned, we appreciate every single one of you. So I'm just waiting to be connected to the studio, and then we will kickstart the discussion on Nigeria again. And to have a comment, comment the Star Radio UK channel, where Archie will read your comment out.
This morning, no one like our God. Wherever you are, we want to welcome you once again to the Star Radio UK, the edition of the morning show. To the Star. And that means that I've got my own brother. And I've got London Studios. In the person of the white lion himself. Mr. Lion. This morning, and good morning to you.
Well, a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to Frank. Good morning to Bossman, and also all our presenters across the network. And welcome to our listeners from New Zealand to Japan to Malaysia to Europe, and most importantly to Nigeria, because like we always say, it costs arms and leg to be able to listen to us from the part of the globe where we expect so much, but maybe, just maybe, it might happen, during the dispensation of this government or not. We will find out. Also, good morning to you, Archie, and let me come back to you again in the studio.
Yes. How are you doing? How is the family as well?
Well, the family are doing very well. I did a school run as usual, on the bus. It seems a little bit much quieter than I thought. I don't know why. Maybe some already taking their children for that long holiday, or it's just that we caught the right bus at the right time, because sometimes it could be a little bit packed. But I was counting the empty space on the seat, and I was asking myself, where are all the children this morning? But with the ones with me, I think the noise was a little bit much more to control all to the way to the school.
Well, whatever it is, you had a transport, you were able to move the children safely to school, but somebody will say, is that what happens in Nigeria or on the African continent? I mean, people who have to wake up at dawn to even travel, so they don't get caught in traffic, and then the children go to school, there's abduction and all stuff that goes on there. You want to know more? We'll be bringing all that. STARR Radio UK. So what I say is, lawless country like Nigeria, oh my word, well, I will tell you more about all that. So hold your horses, STARR Radio UK. Share the broadcast and our pages and so on. But before we come to yesterday's Niger Voices and everything that we were talking about, the Yoruba Nation updates here in the UK, in the diaspora, let's put it that way. I know that you most of the time go to Europe from time to time. How is the weather like in Turkey right now? Because we're talking about the weather phenomenon, where they're talking about some very, very hot weather in those areas. I don't know how the weather is going, because I know people who are about to be traveling or going on their summer holidays. I don't know whether you want to go, so let me find out things. How is it?
Well, the weather is very beautiful because we do have a correspondent, not one, we have about multiple correspondents, on behalf of our network in Turkey. And as I speak to you today, Turkey is extremely warm in terms of weather-wise. We understand that, climate is making a huge difference. And, talking about Turkey, I was actually looking at the NATO countries, and, I was discussing about Turkey being a member as well, plus some other countries, and I'll be able to link that to the conversation later, because we're discussing Ekiti State. Ekiti State was created out of Nigeria, extremely warm, beautiful weather, lovely tropical. I would rather want to be in Ekiti State. And the reason for that, I will tell you. Do you know that we have Pursue Dacrea is an Afrotropical butterfly genus in the subfamily Limanitidina. Their placement in their tribe. We have huge amount of these in Ekiti State, a population of 3.3 million. And I was winding it down to a NATO country like, Latvia, that have less than, what Ekiti State have in terms of the country-wise. And the question has always been, why are things not working? Latvia is about 1.8 million in terms of population, but yet the weather in Ekiti State is beautiful, but there's no international flight that takes me there. And that means I have to get to Lagos State. And to even get to Lagos State, I have to go through Turkey, which is, the cheapest I can find. Because if I want to go through Paris, that means you need a Shanghai visa for those that doesn't have, the British passport yet. So you can see that as diaspora, we face it a lot. And that means that even though we would love to be in Ekiti State, it's the smallest state in Nigeria. It has a lot of tropical, area, chimpanzee. We also have, the forest savanna mosaic, Guinea forest savanna mosaic. We also have the Mona monkey. The Mona monkey is the old world monkey that lives in the Western Africa. And the last one is, we have the forest buffalo, and we call it Efon in Yoruba language.
Okay. Well, listeners, a bit of education there for you from the Line for this morning. I could see that program was going on, and we were talking about the states. So if you miss out on that, you can go to the the broadcast and you can really listen to it or watch it, or it's good because something good. But the problem is, how are those who leading us? Are they doing it? Are they getting everything done the way, or they are not being? Are they being selfless or being selfish? That's the question there. But you want to know more, just if you want to go away. Now, yesterday, on the Niger Voices, for the sake of those who were not able to be on that, I mean, we were talking about the Yoruba Nation and everything. You know, there is an office that is supposed to be a headquarters here in the for the diaspora. And you had a chat with Dr. Isaac, okay? I like to mention the name, okay? Only.
Okay, bí ọ̀run kò sí. Okay, bí ọ̀run kò sí. Okay, bí ọ̀run kò sí. Yeah.
Okay, good. So Dr. Isaac was on, and we had a very long chat with him. I mean, it was quite interesting, but for the sake of those of you who missed out on that program, let's have Mr. Lani to bring you and send you of what was discussed on that program. Yes, how about you?
Well, we had a very long conversation. The last time I had a one-on-one with him was March last year. That is almost a year and few months. And I was just trying to catch up, some of their activities. Every community, like the Ghanaian community, we are an African community radio station, and that means that we are just carrying along all the African countries and the West African as well. But what we should be asking ourselves is, why has there been no Yoruba community in UK? Not that we don't have the large population of Yorubas, but because Nigeria has always overshadowed every single one of us, and they were able to set up what is called the Yoruba Central Office. And the role, as you can tell, Central Office is there to take good care of the Yorubas that are living in UK. I did ask him if this has to be with those that are supporting Yoruba Nation, because we still have so many Yorubas that are not supporting the movement. And he actually went quickly and said, no, it is an office to make those that are living in UK, from marriage counseling to supporting the student when it comes to, settling in UK, as they had, someone traveling from US for the first time to UK, to also fighting on behalf of the injustice taking place in UK against the ethnic groups that are known as Yorubas. And that is the reason why it has been set up. They also have engagement, just like a surgery section that takes place at the Woolwich Library every Saturday from 2 p.m. up to 4:30 p.m. for those that might want to catch up with them there. He also went further to tell us a little bit of what they've done in terms of their engagement, because he traveled to Benin Republic, and the reason for that was on the request of the leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination, Professor Adebanji Akintoye, for other engagement. I did talk about, the new president. What does he think? Because a lot of the Yorubas believe that now that we have the new president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in a fear of this new dispensation, does it really mean that we should just, wind down the Yoruba nation and allow him to focus on governance and restructure the country? That is, if he's going to put restructure in place. But he went further to say we should not abandon the Yoruba nation, because Bola Tinubu has only the first term, which is a 4 years mandate, quote and unquote, if this is not going to change after the election petition tribunal. So in summary, he also went further to say it seems that Tinubu being given the chairman of ECOWAS is just too early. There are so many problems that Tinubu needs to endure and face at home, rather than putting him on a much pressure when it comes to ECOWAS relative or other engagement. And as you can tell, the NLC is already saying that they will protest Bola Tinubu 500 billion naira subsidy palliative, and they are also demanding 300% pay rise. The naira this morning continued to fall, devalue. It is now 1,000 naira with an extra 40 naira, or you might just get a bit of discount of 35 naira on top of that. These were part of the conversation from the central office, to the discussion on the current government. I also asked him before we come back to you in the studio, what does he think about the former president Muhammadu Buhari after 29,000 Yoruba people died? He said that Buhari started very well, but it seemed that something happened along the line. As a government, Buhari could have given an arrest warrant to Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho rather than invading his house at the early hours of the morning while people were sleeping, and that led to the death of 2 Yoruba sons that have now left their mothers and likewise children and wives. And it seems till date, he also said, even if we are going to get any more compensation, it's not going to be the 25 billion because the Naira is now devalued. So they should be paying Igboho about 30 billion for the damages in his house. And you can tell it was a full-pack conversation. And we also had the last half an hour in Yoruba language for the benefit of our people back home.
Wow. Listeners, it is STARR Radio. It was a wonderful program. So as we've been saying, if you missed out, just go back to the broadcast here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, whichever you want to. Just go on. Just type in the Niger Voices. And you can see how to pick up as well. STARR Radio UK. Taking the time now to 11:21. And let's come on to some of the stories that talking about. And then NLC TINUBU'S 500 billion naira palliative. Now, and adding into what Dr. Isaac just said pertaining to his deaths being introduced or being what according to the position as the chairman of the ECOWAS being a wrong tack, but I saw it and I said it's wrong tack. The person has not even landed yet. He's not even appointed his substantive cabinet ministers. He's not done all those. It's not finished doing that. So to put him there, I think it's something that was very, very wrong. But we had other people from other groups like who are saying, no, that's good, congratulations. But the pressure is under. So now pressure already from the NLC protesting over this 500 billion naira. And they want a 300% pay rise. Where would the government get the money from? Yeah.
Where would the government get the money? Remember that Bola Tinubu is already saving money from the subsidy to the tune of 400 billion. He's asking for 500 billion. So he has in the account to take 500 billion if he needs to. But it's not just going to take the money without going through, what we call a due process. The due process is that he needs to approach, the Senate, and from there, he can then move further, as we say. Let's go into the story, the report. According to the reps, is now sitting on a 500 billion subsidy relief request today. Federal government, labor for their fresh negotiation. 500 billion is not enough for 125 million poor Nigerians affected by the deregulation, according to the Nigerian Labour Congress. The Labour Congress, the Trade Union Congress, have thumbed down the 500 billion palliative proposed by President Bola Tinubu, stating it is grossly inadequate to assuage the hardship confronting workers square to the fuel subsidy. And I'm just reading a comment on Twitter right now, and this is coming from Morakio_Lanry. Suffering is increasing. Middle class people are already demoting to lower class in Nigeria. 1 meal per day, that is the situation of a policeman who spoke to me yesterday. We are watching palliatives. Maybe they will share to the needy or they'll be greedy. Hashtag Yoruba Nation.
Well, palliative, remember during the COVID time where it ended up that some warehouses have been filled with food, and that those food were never given to plants. People broke in and went to loot it. So is the same thing that's going to happen again? But Bishop Adesina has put something there. He said that court has given Nigeria DSS 1 week to charge MFLA or release him. Now, based on fundamental human rights, that's why the court is saying that they've done that. Now, why is the same court not issuing or not using same authority on DSS disobeying its order over release of Nnamdi Kanu? So what is the question there? And I want us to ponder over it whilst the program goes on. But well, let me say that the president, already is making almost 400 billion from the fuel subsidy that removal. So maybe he will add some more to it. But will the poor person in Nigeria get anything out of that? STARR Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Before I come to Johnny, now, non-Bicano under the law is free and available by DSS to file court order, and that is contempt of court. The court or judiciary in Nigeria is powerless, my brother. And he says, if you have money, law will bend for you in Nigeria. How true is that? How true is that? Well, STARR Radio UK. In the background where Mr. Lai Nikwaji, that came from Bishop Adesina. Background where Mr. Lai Nikwaji is if Nigeria does not come to an end, it will bring all of our lives to an end. That's what Namdi Kano is saying. But I don't know whether you want to pass a comment on that one before we move on.
We just move on.
Yes. We don't want us to move on. Okay. Now, abducted Ekiti APC chairman, I want to show has regained freedom. The police have arrested 3 suspects. Now, the question is, who are these 3 suspects? Where do they come from? What are they? Are they Fulani? What are they? What exactly is pushing them to do that as well? Yeah.
Well, we have different cases of kidnapping that does happen in Nigeria, and I can tell you that some of those cases, when the case of these chairman of the APC came out, sometimes we get a little bit worried and concerned, and like you say, if Nigeria doesn't come to an end, it will bring every one of our lives to an end. But it seems that the end of the lives of this person came back without being killed, even though I will go into a little bit of what might have happened. Nigeria, as we speak right now, is going through a lot. And I'll be telling you what the military are saying when it comes to the plea by the former governor of Zamfara, Yerima, that they should give amnesty or what they call, soft landing to the bandit. But adopted Ekiti chairman Omotosho has now regained his freedom after he was kidnapped, and also 3 individuals have also been arrested. And that is Mr. Omotosho. Is the APC chairman driving home in Imesi, again, Ekiti State. I have been talking about Ekiti as of today. Imesi is one of the local government, Imesi in Igbonyi, local government area of Ekiti State. This happened on Saturday, and that means that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you can tell that even though, we thought that maybe sometimes, when situations like this happen, some people don't come back, but it seems that according to the report, he has regained his freedom. Mr. Motoshaw, according to the family source, was freed by his adopters in the early hours of today. However, none of the sources could immediately confirm if ransom was paid. Let me take you back to last week. 3 individuals were kidnapped. One of them was killed on the spot by the Fulani terrorists. And the reason for that is they believe that he might not have any money. He's a security guard at the petrol station. The other 2 end up paying 5 million. But what we don't know is that how these individual Omotosho was released, whether ransom was paid or not. But in an updated statement to reporter confirming the release, Mr. Abutu also said 3 suspects in connection with the kidnapping has been arrested. He said that the arrest suspects who are currently in custody were providing useful information to the police to track the prime suspect. So you now have 3 suspects, but there's still another prime suspect. But according to the APC chairman, who was released alongside 2 others that was adopted by the hoodlums, he added that the release of the victim was a release of the joint effort of the police and other sister security agency. And in a statement, press release, the APC chairman and 2 others regained their freedom. This breakthrough was possible through the combined effort of the police and the others as well. While appreciating the good-spirited members of the public for their concern and reckless support, the command states that the 3 suspects have been arrested, but they haven't tell us whether they are of a particular ethnic group.
All right. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, well, I'm looking at it that if they are not from the Fulani X-Men who are making that kill, and then from what are we doing to actually get, because we always say there's this saying that the idle hand is the devil's workshop. Now, if people are desperate, people cannot get jobs, people are coming out of university and cannot get jobs to go to, and they cannot sit down and just be hungry and get what. So people get involved in all sorts. And that's why it's very important that our government seeks to address this issue, especially of this unemployment, so that they will not be used for such things. Which I know, I do agree that it is not right at all. It shouldn't for people to commit such crimes. However, things do happen when people are pushed right to the wall, and their backs are against the wall. People rise up and do a lot of things here. That is what coming away from STARR Radio UK. Your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's go to Samuel Otto. Now, Samuel Otto we had was going around communicating vehicles. So the question is, he says that those are his pension money or his retirement. But the question is, did he buy the vehicles for the state? Why? Does the state own him? Maybe the state has not got the money to pay for his retirement. Is that what is going on there?
I remember when I have a one-on-one chat with Tim. Was a very quick one. He was not prepared in terms of it was a shot. He was on his trip to US, and somebody arranged that quickly. And my focus with him then was the terrorism happening in Benue State. Also whether there was going to be a coup. Remember that in February 1st this year we were talking about coup, even though Shore, the owner of the STARR Reporter, says that Bola Tinubu must have paid out the military cabal so that there will not be any coup. But coming to a state like Benue State that has been rampaged by the terrorism, the Fulani, and too much killings, and this is still going on. The last thing you'll be hearing from a former governor to now acquire 30 exotic vehicles, and he says, these are part of my retirement benefit. And you keep asking, what is he going to do with it? We know that the new governor have sent in tow truck to invade his automobile workshop. But the immediate past governor of Benue State has now criticized the current state government for invading his automobile workshop. So definitely he wants to sell these particular vehicle, I believe, and that is the reason why this is currently the situation. So coming back to you in just about a few minutes, Mr. Autumn, who spoke through his spokesperson, said this in reaction to the Benue State Asset Recovery Committee that the raid in his automobile workshop were about 30 vehicles and they've been towed away. If I just come up on the screen just about 30 seconds and then we can come back into the program again.
Okay, listen, let's go with us. Well, it is STARR Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bringing the time now to 11:23, and I think Yomi is okay now, so let's go back to him. So, I mean, looking at all that, my question is it, did he compromise himself in office? Did he, is it said to be that maybe he has stolen some state funds, or is anything of the sort of happened?
Well, not really. What we know is that each of these governors, when they leave office, is not the only governor. Most of them, when they leave offices, they tend to go with government properties. Whether this is justifiable or not, but it seems that he is actually saying that these vehicles are part of his retirement, and there shouldn't be any reason why the new governor should be running after him for such. But again, as we know, it is not the first time that we've seen this happening in the election, in the change of government, and especially when the party changes in the state. If the party hasn't changed, you don't hear this news because it's a continuity, and it's because he has lost from his own party. There's a new sheriff in town, and the new sheriff also is trying to say that I am doing what is meant to be done, and that is why they are running after somebody like Autumn for the 30 vehicles at his automobile workshop.
Well, listen to Star in the UK. Well, he made his own money and decided to go and buy a dirty luxurious or what is his own money. You can justify that to what one. Jay, Wasiu Femi, good morning to you. He says more strength to you. You claim in Nigeria not happen to you. But it's not really UK 1135 who allows you to bring that the rest of the stories making around. Over to you, John.
Well, as we go into some of the other headline, the NCAA have now suspended Air Boeing 737 planes over safety concern. I actually read a little bit about this on, O'Donnell David is an investigative journalist, and the amount of airline traveling within Nigeria, I'm talking about the local airline, their safety concern is something to be worried and concerned about. You would thought that, after paying huge amount of money to travel between Lagos and Abuja or Kaduna to Sokoto or wherever you're traveling to within Nigeria, you will be safe. But that is not the present situation in Nigeria, as most of these airlines are not just only dilapidated, they are being managed and they are compromising the safety of so many Nigerians today. And that is why, this particular airline called the X Air have now been given what we call a suspending operation. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has now suspended the operation of all the Boeing 737 aircraft in a fleet of MAX Air over safety concern after series of incidents. The suspension conveyed in a letter with the reference number NCAA DG Air 11-16-363 dated yesterday, titled Suspension of Part A3 and D43 of the operation specification. And I hope that after the suspension, this airline won't be changed to a different color and then continue operating, because we know what Nigeria is. We've seen this before. Even the former aviation minister, Seriki Adi, went back to Ethiopia, brought us an airline, and then later on we find out that it has traveled back to its base and the color coded has changed, even though a whopping amount of money was spent on it. So I just hope that this airline will not be transformed in a different disguise and it will continue to operate. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Now, interestingly, sorry for bargaining like that. I'm looking at it that if they say there's something wrong with it, that airline, so those flights, the Boeing, thinking that there's a problem with it and it's not airworthy, they want to check. Did they come out to say exactly what is wrong? Is it like a landing gear? What is it? They've not said anything. Have there been any incident of the sort that the public or passengers would know about? John?
Well, let me take you straight to David O'Donnell. I'm right on his Twitter handle. And if this was not, an insider that has revealed that one of the aircraft that traveled out of Lagos went back on an emergency landing. By the time he landed, the airtail was no longer then, this could have been the biggest disaster. According to David O'Donnell an hour ago, now that the NCAA has confirmed the report and suspended that aircraft, as well as the entire MAX Air 737, will this guy and people like me ever apologize for accusing me of sensationalism? No, they just go ahead dead silent until the next time. Let me take you through to what he has said, in the last few days. In terms of his own report. And his report that I've read a little bit about that report, and it's in details. And the headline was, Passenger Alert, Nigeria is about to record another air disaster. On Wednesday, 14th of June, 2023, an aero contractor Boeing 737-500 with the tail identifier F59BLE took off from Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, shortly after dark on a scheduled service to Sokoto with over 100 passengers on board. It never made it to Sokoto. Within a few minutes of takeoff, the pilot declared an undisclosed emergency and returned to Abuja. 3 weeks later, on the Friday, 7th of July, 2023, a Max Air that we're discussing right now, Boeing 737-3HE with a tail identifier 5N MHN, took off from the same airport at about 12:15 with nearly 100 passengers on board. This flight actually made it to Yola, but passenger disembarked safely. What both of these passengers did not know was that they had narrowly escaped becoming the victim of the Nigerian largest civil air disaster since Dana Air incident, in 2012. The passenger on the Sokoto-bound flight were never told exactly what happened, but what happened is water was found also inside the container where the fuel should be, and he also made it to say that Max Air and the fuel pump that never happened. Like many other regional airlines in Nigeria around the world, Max Air favors the blah blah blah, but something that was much unique is that one of the most important items of a checklist is the daily fuel slump. To sump the fuel in an aircraft, fuel tanks must remain dry in any water that has been found. These aircraft flew with water inside, and by the time it was also landing back, which there's a video evidence, the tail also is no longer to be found.
Wow. I mean, it's serious because most of us travel thinking that, to make our journeys, because we don't want to go by the road, go by the rail as well, and then you have people kidnappers and all that. So, okay, let's just hop on the plane, boom, from Lagos to maybe Abuja, and then if you have such things like that going on, information like that coming in, it doesn't give you that confidence that you want to really travel on those flights as well. So we hope that they are doing diligence. But Bishop Adesina said he is laughing his head off because he knows that in Nigeria anything is possible. Tomorrow somebody can do think that they're playing and say this one is a new one that I just come from London. Wow. Listen, let's start ready with it. Let's allow Yomi to bring us the rest of the stories. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, let's move swiftly because of the time constraint already. This is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we say all the time, may Nigeria not happen to us. Yesterday, I got a video, and in that video, these are 3 Yorubas, Muslim precisely, and guess what? They've just sold each other with less than, looking at the exchange rate with about 40 pounds, you've been sold a head. 45,000 naira was bought from another person to pay to get the head. What is the reason for that? Ritual money as usual. We hope that this individual will finally face justice, even though the person that has been killed has gone away from the earth. These are some of the crimes that is happening within system of the local government. Sometimes it comes onto the air, and sometimes it never does. Reps are demanding review of salary and allowance to cushion effect of subsidy removal. The lawmakers say that their salary and allowance can no longer meet the demand of their job. Hence, they call for a review. Members of the House of Representatives are demanding upward review of their salaries and allowance. You'll be wondering whether they are really part of Nigeria or not. But these again are Nigerian senators and House members that are going to be running the operation of Nigerians, representing Nigerians in different categories. But as you can tell, they are also complaining that it seems that they need to review their salary. It was gathered that the demand was the outcome of a meeting the lawmakers had on the July 11 after going into an executive section during the preliminary. The complaint from the lawmakers arising from salaries and allowance forced them to go into executive session in order to dose the tension. The lawmaker also demand from the speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, the reason for the delay in their payment of their salary and allowance, causing some of them to result in loan. It seems that they are not part of Nigeria, I can tell you that. There's been a lot of response to the story about the aircraft that we've been talking about. Someone said, Jesus Christ, where do we even begin the cleansing in Nigeria with double hashtag? This other person went on to say, This must likely confirm why Max Air canceled its Sunday night July Abuja to Yola flight and using its Boeing 77 for local flight on Monday. These people they use our life. They play in a broken English. This one said, Chineke, you pay money for flight only to fly high to heaven. God forbid. This one further say, just discover the artist through you. Thanks. She has a beautiful song. It seems that that's a different thing entirely. And the last one said, so who will be the victims of the failures of a few wicked people in the Nigerian government? The question in the minds of the genuine concerned individuals. And it goes on and on and on. So it seems also that Nnamdi Kanu is trending this morning as usual. There's a lot of pressure in the southeast. David Odoye is trending. WhatsApp is trending. And as usual, Simon Ekpa remained the top search name on Twitter in Nigeria today at about 41,000. And I'm sure you know the reason why is the leader, according to the government in exile, Prime Minister, and he has been given the order for the total lockdown. In the end of the month, he has said that there will be a 2-week shutdown of the Southeast again. And tonight, I'll be reporting that tomorrow, there will be a a joint statement that he has asked everyone to listen to. We don't know what is going to be the outcome, but it seems that under his Twitter handle, he is responding back to back to as many of those that are still against the sit-at-home civil disobedience for the freedom of their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that was kidnapped, renditioned back by the former President Muhammadu Buhari and the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. And it seems that Nnamdi Kanu's health, according to Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, we should all be concerned because Nnamdi Kanu's health is becoming deteriorating. Simon Ekpa was responding to Peter Obi. Obi says sit-at-home directives not issued by IPOB. Security agency must tackle the criminal activities. Simon Ekpa responded 7 minutes ago. Help me tell this Ijotio. Who is IPOB? Obi is now the IPOB spokesperson. And there's another one that says, no delight in killing. If killing some is what it would take to protect Anambra people, so be it. State Commissioner Simon Ekpa responded back, if this police order killing of any Biafra in Anambra and they killed anyone, Biafra must go for him. The jihad, the genocide, the annihilation must stop. It is eye for an eye. Also, Biafra liberation is happening. And the last one is also coming from Anambra, Enugu, and Ebonyi. And Imo State government yesterday vowed not to yield to the antics of the non-state actors in disrupting governance in the Southeast geopolitical zone. Simon Ekpa responded back again, let the governors know that any attempt on me, I would declare war against them. From village to their various government houses, you can't threaten me on attack and me go and attack me and you can go free. So you can see that there's a lot of tension right inside Southeast as we speak right now. While Simon is trending at 41,000 tweets, Nnamdi Kanu is trending at 20,000 this morning. I'll come back again to you in the studio, and that is what is trending on the social media when it comes to Nigeria this morning.
Well, listeners, it's online because to bring from Nigeria and what is happening in the social media platform as well. But Bishop Adesina says human head sold for rituals for 45,000 naira, invariably for Yoruba digital currency. How shallow is people's mind? They must pay for the lives they have wasted. And what will the authorities do about this? I hope that they do the necessary investigation to make sure that they get the corporates too. I mean, whoever, the person has lost their life already, but they have to pay them or get some justice for this guy that has been missing. Well, STARR Radio, okay? Your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Join me before we go.
Well, it's going to be a packed day, especially maybe you are just thinking of being a homeowner. Why not join the Bossman later on at 7 p.m. and I'll be back again tomorrow, but actually take you to the rest of the traffic and the news happening right here in the UK and around the world. I'll be back again 11 o'clock tomorrow This is Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Thank you so much. Now, well, listeners, that has been so lively for it. We give you a base one.
Tèmi ẹ ká tún sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ àti bá ti Nàìjíríà débì kan. So what I'm going to do as usual, we move ourselves to the front. You all know how it all happened. Ká kọ́ tún sọ̀rọ̀ briefly ni àbí ká tẹ̀ lọ ká padà wá. Bí a ká lọ ká padà wá, ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ kí n padà wá kí n lọ jẹ lunch. Ẹ̀yin tèmi ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ jẹ lunch. Tí bá ti parí lunch mi àtúbára Ekiti tá n bá lọ Ekiti state ni mo wà ní èní. Mo kí n grandma Lé Ajayi ṣàlàfíà lẹ́wà mọ́mì. I am Bola G Ọlá mo kí DG75 let me appreciate those. Razak Ibrahim mo mà kí n sà tọwọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ mo fi ń dárúkọ yín mo tó bẹ́ẹ̀ láti dárúkọ gbogbo yín without a due respect. Mo kí ìyàwó mi mo kí màmá tó bí mi mo kí àwọn ọmọ mi. Abdullahi Isiao ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn kọ́lé mi gbé dání ẹ̀sìn kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nation. Grandma Felicia Àjàgbé mo mà kí mọ́mì ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí YouTuber ṣé dáadáa ni ẹ wà ẹ̀yin YouTube mi ṣàlàfíà everybody wà ọlọ́run ìbá Elédùmarè àkókò dúró tì wá kò ní fi wá sílẹ̀ ó ń ṣọmọ lókù bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀ wà láì. Adéṣọlá Adébáyọ̀ mú kí ẹ jàre. City Boy TV bàbá mi Kúnlé Ṣítà bàbá àgbàlagbà bí àṣà must be àní bàbá àgbàlagbà Láńre Lámínà tèmi triple DRS ọ̀rẹ́ àpò ẹ jẹ́ kí n gbé kámẹ́rà yẹn wá sí mo bọ̀ I gotta move mo bọ̀ a máa disconnect ẹ̀wọ̀n pé torí ibi ṣe ṣe ẹlòmíì nísìn lẹ́mí ẹ jẹ́ ká let's do ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe one at a time torí okay mo pa kámẹ́rà ilé náà kí n kọ́kọ́ pa tí màá lọ síwájú kí ló ṣe lè gba àwọn funds yìí náà kó ṣàánú so màá dá padà wá síwájú báyìí. Mo ti ń gbọ́ ọ̀run dòdò tí wọ́n mi dín nínú ilé ọlọ́run ẹ jẹ dòdò kiri. Ìlú wo ló máa ń jẹ dòdò gan-an? Ẹ̀yin ara wà bẹ́ẹ̀ for now lédè. Ìlú wo ló láìkì wọ́n ní kinní kan ń jẹ ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ẹ̀yẹ lé oúnjẹ ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ẹni bá jẹ ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ ní sí wọn á pàdánù pẹ̀lú poverty tó ń bẹnu Nàìjíríà nísìn. Àlàáfíà mo wà jàre my brother ọlọ́run kò séwu rárá ẹni bá ń lé wa ẹ̀ ń waste time ara yín èmi kọ́ mo bà Nàìjíríà jẹ́ problem ní lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní Nàìjíríà is a crime scene ẹ wá padà báyìí sọ̀kákọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ briefly náà ni ká tó tún máa tó ń jẹ́ ìbálẹ̀ ti rẹ́dì ara máa tẹ lọ síwájú díẹ̀díẹ̀ so ẹ jẹ́ ká tó disconnect camera ilé náà technology tí ó ti wà advance gan kọ́lọ́n kó ṣàánú gbogbo technology tá a rárá manage yìí ẹ kàn imagine tó wáyé pé ní gbogbo ilé àdé ń ṣe Yorùbá nation báyìí ṣé mọ̀ pé technology ló ń really help wa technology tá à ń lò lénìí imagine tá a bá ní àwọn technology it would have been a complete chaos wallahi chaos ni Ìgbòho ṣá ìmọ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá nìyẹn owó baba dami ẹni tí Fúlàní rí tó wọ̀gbẹ́ Fúlàní rí báyìí ó ń wọ̀gbẹ́ ni kí ló ṣèwọ́ tó fi tán ẹgbà kó mà lélẹ̀ kẹ tó mà tán ní sìn ẹni tí Fúlàní rí tó wọ̀gbẹ́ òun ni Ìgbòho Fúlàní rí ó wọ̀gbẹ́ ni Fúlàní bá rí Ìgbòho ó wọ̀gbẹ́ straight ẹkùn wọn nìyẹn a bá ti gbọ́hùn Ìgbòho báyìí ọ̀yà dànù nìyẹn ẹni tí Fúlàní rí tó ń wọ ìgbẹ́ òun ni Ìgbòho a bá ti gbọ́hùn Ìgbòho báyìí ó ṣà owó bàbá dámì mo kíyàwó ẹ̀ mo kíyẹ mo kẹ́yìn tí olólùfẹ́ báwa ògbówó ṣá báwa ti dín dòdò mi tán tí bá máa ṣe program nísìn software la gbọ́dọ̀ lò torí àwọn kan tàfẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lórí Èkìtì la ṣe ń bá bọ̀ ẹ̀yin ọmọ Èkìtì state ìlú Èkìtì la wà for now so àlàáfíà mo wà láàrin láàrin náà àlàáfíà lẹ́yìn náà wà ta ló láìkì dòdò ta ló máa ń jẹ dòdò ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ gbogbo Èkìtì yẹn tẹ́ ká gbìn ká ní plantation ká wá convert gbogbo àwọn industry tó máa ìlú yẹn no Nàìjíríà yẹn ti báyé jẹ́ it's a crazy country ìyà tó ń jà wọn lọ́wọ́ kódà ọ̀nà ọlọ́run kan yẹn àti fi gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ ọlọ́run náà ni àti fi gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ ọlọ́run lọ́rùn àti fi gbogbo ẹ̀ àti fi kọ́ ọlọ́run lọ́rùn so it's just a shame but ọmọ pé bó pẹ́ bóyá everybody ló máa jẹ breakfast èmi náà máa jẹ breakfast ọ̀rẹ́ mi náà ní family níbẹ̀ owó ló ń bàjẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà yẹn owó yẹn ti bàjẹ́ gan nísìnyí it's crazy just so painful every day owó yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni number one ajagun gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá Ìgbòho ṣá àdẹ́ntí Fúlàní gbọ́wọ̀n ìdáwà làmọ́ bálù ẹ̀ àwọn north ọmọ tó ń pè ní Ìgbòho ẹkùn fún rẹ̀ kò sí Nàìjíríà gan àyà wọn ń já lójoojúmọ́ ọkàn wọn balẹ̀ ọkàn gbogbo wọn balẹ̀ Ìgbòho sí Nàìjíríà ó wà ní Benin Republic ọkàn wọn tún balẹ̀ wọ́n ti dín dòdò mi tán a parí program kákọ̀ máa fi ká máa kọ̀ gbogbo dúdú ni mo láìkì kìíní rárá láti reflection yẹn máa ń bá kẹ́ni wọn ló máa ń fa darkness yẹn ọtí sí nǹkan tá a máa ṣe sí Abíọ́dún Monday ṣàlàfẹ́ lẹ́wà náà kó bẹ́tà díẹ̀ báyìí gbogbo akọ́ dúdú ojú mi àwọn dúdú gbogbo nínú program bẹ́tà báyìí mọ́mí mi Wúrà Adébíòtì lọ́nà àtòjọ́ mẹ́ta ṣàlàfẹ́ lẹ́wà àwọn kọ́ńbẹ̀ làbàdó ti gbogbo yàn kagbélé náà wà báyìí ó bẹ́tà báyìí nísìn so ẹ̀gbẹ́ àwọn laptop mi wá síbí báyìí tọmọ ayẹ ti dín dòdò mi tán àwọn lọ jẹun àparí ẹ̀ so Nàìjíríà owó yẹn wọn páwọn diaspora kan náà wọn máa dùn pé owó yẹn ti lọ sókè ibo mo fi 10 pound mi sí specimen mi mo bí àwọn ẹ̀ ti mú ni a ní 10 pound specimen náà tá a máa ń lò owó yìí nísìn àìtí wọ December owó tí ń wọ owó tá à ń wò yìí owó tá à ń ná Nàìjíríà lélẹ̀ owó tó dẹ̀ ń jí dọ́là lọ fi ń jí nípa laptop kankan ní ká save energy èmi náà mo lo iná ọ̀nà lórí mi mò ń lò jù so let me just switch off one let me bring this one like this máa wọ ẹ̀yìn mi ìjáyà ti lé dúpẹ́ léré àwọn kan ní kẹfi sílẹ̀ tó ń sọjá gbajàgbá lẹ́nu àdìmú tẹ́lẹ̀ ó mọ̀ pé táwa kan bàbá wa àwòrò ṣàṣà tí àwọn èèyàn bá sọ̀rọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìjáyà ayẹ tí ń já fún òmẹ́yọ̀ náà nísìn ó náà ti rìpọ́ọ̀tì gbogbo wọn Yorùbá Abẹ́òkúta mo kí gbẹ̀yìn Ìjẹ̀bú Òde bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ sọ fún mi Bishop Adesina bẹ́ẹ̀ ni owó burúkú lówó yẹn Ọlọ́run ẹgbọ́n táwọn ọmọ yẹn sọ àwọn Nigerian student ẹgbọ́n tó sọ ní àná lórí broadcast àṣe àwọn ọmọ yẹn ní bàbá tẹ̀ ṣe program later at least a máa ṣe pẹ̀sẹ̀pẹ̀sẹ̀ nìkan sí dáhùn pé tí bá ṣe tán ìrìn fi lọ rest there so ìtàwọn ọmọ yẹn sọ bí wọn bá ní tó bá ní 5 million of these ní March our in July, so January, February, March, April, May, June. So in 4 months, owó yẹn ti lose value. Then Ìjayà ọkọ̀ Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì. Okay, ẹ máa wò mí lórí YouTube, mo máa rí pé mo rí lórí Instagram. Àwọn ọmọ nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ àti àwọn grandchildren alábàndúró ti gbogbo wa. It's not easy. You know, we're working extremely hard nílùú yìí. Àwọn èèyàn mọ̀. You know, ìyàwó mi náà ti bá tiẹ̀ lọ tún lọ bí iṣẹ́ báyìí. Kò bá mi dúró ti gbogbo ẹ̀yin mothers wa. It's not easy. You know, drop off àwọn ọmọ ní school àti wálé wa dáná wá ṣe gbogbo èèyàn kan wá jókòó sí Nàìjíríà ẹ wá máa fẹ́ gé orí wa. Ẹ máa gé orí èèyàn for 45,000 naira. Koiki ọmọ àbọ̀ òyìnbó sọ ní Koiki ọmọ àgbọ̀yìnbó sọ nípa ìjí méjì ọmọ àfipọ̀tẹ̀mọ́lẹ̀. Ó mọ̀ ń sọ òyìnbó náà ibi máa Yorùbá ni máa ń sọ ṣé Yorùbá mi ò dá tó ni tí bá ti fẹ́ ṣe English mo fẹ́ pass message ṣẹ́rí ní tó bá ti mú mi tí mo jókòó tí mo present in English because wọn náà journalist tí ẹ mọ̀ pé àwọn náà journalist táwọn náà fẹ́ pass message fún you know àwọn lè má jáde nísìn ṣẹ́rí gbogbo tá à ń ṣe wọ́n documented and especially torí ìlú tèmi wà torí Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì kó má lọ fà wá sí ìrìn àjò terrorism tá bá ti lọ confiscate wa pé terrorism kìíní là ń ṣe it will be very difficult for a lot of us that are outside Nigeria, you know. So sometimes my presentation ti bá wá ní English yẹn ó nídìí tí mo ṣe lè sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Emefiele ní kó fóun sílẹ̀ Mr. Koiki ṣe wà náà lè ṣe kí ló ń bẹ̀lẹ̀. Àwọn Yorùbá yìí ti pọ̀ jù. Ẹ bá wa bá bàbá Akíntóyè sọ̀rọ̀. Mr. Koiki ṣe wá náà ó lè ṣe kò ní lè gbélẹ̀ ní kí gbogbo wa jókòó sílé fún ọ̀sẹ̀. Kí gbogbo wa jókòó sílé fọ́sẹ̀ kan. Okay, ẹ jẹ́ n tún kà bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ti get the hang of it. Mr. Koiki ṣáwa náà lè ṣe kó nílé gbélé ní kí gbogbo wa jókòó sílé. Kò ń ṣe pé kò lè possible ká sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa kó jókòó sílé. Ṣe rí àwọ̀ ìtì dé irú stage àwọn Biafra yẹn mo rẹ̀ ṣeré àìtí really dé stage yẹn. Àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n sì nífẹ̀ẹ́ àwọn olóṣèlú gan-an. Tàbá ní káwọn èèyàn jókòó sílé fọ́sẹ̀ kan fúnjọ́ kan kàtẹ̀ ní kó jókòó sílé fúnjọ́ kan ṣe fípa àwọn èèyàn máa jókòó ṣá. Mo ti feel much better nísìn tí mo ti jáde sí Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì láti ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó ní ages ẹ ṣé gan ni lálàáfíà lẹ́wà. Mo ti jáde sí Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì láti ìjọ ló lọ sọ́dọ̀ Ìjìnlẹ̀ ó dà pé Sunday òru Monday ni mo jáde pẹ̀lú ó bá jí láàárọ̀ báyìí Koiki ló máa gbọ́ Koiki ló máa gbọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni some people lost 60% within 4 months. Ó máa difficult láti ní káwọn èèyàn wá jókòó sílé pé ká má jáde. Lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ni mò ń sọ o. I don't think it can work. Àwọn èèyàn ní jókòó lé o. Àní kò jókòó lé. But tá bá ti gbọ́ táwọn Dúpẹ́ Onítìrì bá ti gbọ́ protest ètí wọ́n máa ń nà ní. Because wọ́n mọ̀ tán pè protest. Tí really ṣe protest Ọlọ́run gbogbo tá a ṣe ń ṣe yẹn tí gbogbo ń kó wa káàkiri yẹn tí crowd yẹn bá push bẹ́ẹ̀ continuously ẹ lọ ohun tó lọ ní Kenya lénìí ẹ lọ sí Kenya ẹ kọ lọ type in Kenya ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá wà lórí social media ẹ lọ sí Kenya kẹ lọ type in Kenya lórí YouTube kí ló ń jáde fún wọ́n jáde fún cost of food pé wọ́n rí oúnjẹ jẹ ìjà gidi wàhálà ti bẹ́lẹ̀ ní Kenya bí ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí government tó bá ti provide fáwọn èèyàn because àwọn èèyàn nílé nísìn yes and supplement ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ Tinubu náà òun ní the 500 billion NLC sọ pé 500 billion yẹn ò lè tó nǹkankan ó náà ní the 500 billion láti fi cushion yín ok ẹ jẹ́ ká bèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ jẹ́ láàrin ara wa báyìí nísìn gbogbo ala ní family nílé ẹ̀yin kan wà Nàìjíríà and we appreciate you ṣe fi pé tí Tinubu bá gba 500 billion yẹn ó máa kàn wọ́n yes or no tó bá jẹ́ pé gbogbo wa kò sí gbogbo alálẹ́ bí nlé èmi mọ̀ pé definitely kò lè kan àwọn ẹbí tèmi náà so tí Tinubu bá náà fẹ́ gba 500 billion èmi lè sọ pé automatically kò lè dọ́dọ̀ àwọn ẹbí tèmi so only the 500 billion fún 123 million Nigerians tó wà in abject poverty láàrin èmi àti yín ẹ jẹ́ ká fi sentiment Yorùbá nation sílẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká fi sentiment gbogbo àfẹ́gbà country sílẹ̀ ṣé lọ́kàn ara yín ẹ fi pé tí Tinubu bá gba 500 billion yẹn ṣé ó máa kàn wọ́n lára èlò dẹ̀ ló fipò máa kàn ẹ́ òṣèlú Yorùbá land àjẹgúrújẹrá self-centered and very wicked bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá mi Bóyè Mayugbe Majid Ibrahim ní no joke kàn mí kẹ́ 500 billion is not a lot of money to be honest nígbà tí Nàìjíríà lówó tó ẹ̀kọ́ ti tọ́jú owó pamọ́ tó ẹ̀kọ́ ti ṣe industry ká máa produce oríṣiríṣi ká máa ṣe battery ká máa ṣe this ká máa ṣe that ìlú kan ló ṣe léyìn nísìn bó ṣe rọra wà but we refuse wọn lọ fẹsẹ̀ ń ṣe lè they refuse because ìgbà tí Nàìjíríà ní owó à ń ṣe afùnyànfùnyàn à ń ṣe bàbá olówó kí ló ṣe lóò tí kò fi ṣe ok ẹ wò líra nísìn bí ti technology ti dá tó nísìn ó yẹ ká máa produce oríṣiríṣi nǹkan táwọn èèyàn máa lò every day glasses case ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn tó ṣe case ọ̀tọ̀ làwọn tó ń ṣe frame àjà òkúta gbogbo kìíní nísìn tẹ́ ń wò yìí lára tí ó yẹ ká jà òkúta tó yẹ ká máa fi ṣe nǹkan nìyẹn nígbà tí a lówó lọ́wọ́ títí kan mouse títí kan tó fi nu ọwọ́ think about so many things tissue toilet roll toothpick kódà clip so many things so for years a ṣe kankan ẹ wá dé láàárọ̀ nísìnyàn kan wá sọ pé Nàìjíríà máa bẹ́tà in tó sọ fún gbogbo àtẹ́lẹ̀ náà nìyẹn èmi náà believe in that mo rántí gbà tí mo wà ní secondary school every time a lọ sí bàbá odò bookshop kan ní bookshop tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Abẹ́òkúta grammar school yẹn school máa ti fún wa ní list gbogbo internet tó bá ti ń lọ sí class tuntun láti GSS 1 bí òun lọ sí another class wá ti fún ẹ ní gbogbo list ìwé tó máa need wàá lọ sí bàbá odò wàá máa tíkẹ̀ wàá kó ṣé mọ̀ pé gbogbo printing yẹn mo rò bí i Nàìjíríà lọ ti ń ṣe nígbà yẹn bí àwọn kan wọ́n ń ṣe ní Nàìjíríà but majority gbogbo àwọn òwe tá a máa lọ rà yẹn so for years gbogbo wa náà ní understanding yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀ pé ẹ mọ̀ a kò máa ń gba gbogbo a kò máa lọ ràwé yẹn fáwọn tó lè rà ní kò ṣe gbóyàn náà ló lè ràwé o torí mo mọ̀ fáwọn student kan wọ̀ ní owó láti ràwé àwa kan lówó a lọ rà inú ẹ̀ ló máa yára yín ní textbook jẹ́ n sáré lọ kà wàá kà tó bá kà gbogbo anísìn àti wá ń dàgbà àwọn tó ti dàgbà in tó sọ fún wọn náà nìyẹn the money we earned among public servants bẹ́ẹ̀ni Koiki what would happen during the COVID is meant for the people but àwọn politicians ló jí gbogbo aṣáṣáàrí ìjàlá savings mo kí sayings mo kí ọmọ Bọ́lájí so the current situation is getting worse. It's getting worse. Alhaji Aliu Maiboni orúkọ ẹ̀ lọ fi sórí orí ìwé Dr. Clement Isong tani Alhaji Aliu Maiboni náà pé mo ti rí ṣé nǹkan lọ́nà onílé kan tí ó fi góòdì kan gbogbo ẹ̀ mo ń bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ n gbé láptọ̀pù ìsúnmọ́ bíbá Alhaji Maiboni ó náà pé mo rí kinní kan lórí Instagram bátìrì tẹ̀tì chájẹ̀ ti yọ kúrò lára ẹ̀ Alhaji Maiboni ó dà pé òun lọ́nà fi góòdì kọ́lé ẹ̀ ó ti kú nísìn I think it might be the same person báwo ló ń ṣe relevant of orúkọ ẹ̀ orí owó wa gan sef kọ́ fraud gbogbo ẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ Google ẹ̀ ojú mi kọ́ ta síbẹ̀ nísìnyí Alhaji Aliyu My Boni ta ló ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ forúkọ yẹn sórí ẹ̀ Alhaji Aliyu My Boni BORNU was a Nigerian economist and the first indigenous governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Abajo. For US in 1,000 naira to one first indigenous. Tó bá jẹ́ pé bí wọ́n ṣe tó dáadáa, ṣé òun ló yẹ kó jẹ́ first indigenous governor? Mo kẹ́ innovative. Mo ti lórúkọ ẹ̀. Òun náà ni. Late Aliyu My Boni. Orúkọ lọ fi sórí 1,000 naira. My Boni. For only first indigenous. And also the Wikipedia. Aliyu My Boni, Malam Aliyu My Boni was born 1919. That was 5 years after the amalgamation of Nigeria. Ọdún márùn-ún after amalgamation. Ó kú ní February 23rd, 1970. Was the Nigerian economics and the first indigenous governor of the central bank. So ìgbà wo ló dá central bank sílẹ̀? Okay, the Central Bank of Nigeria is the central bank and the apex monetary authority of Nigeria, established by the CBN Act of 1958 and commenced operation on 1st of July 1959. Ṣẹ́rí gbogbo ilé ìtẹ́ ìrora ń gbọ́ nísìnyí la ṣe ń sọ fẹ́yìn tí ẹ̀mí ẹ ti gba country. Ẹ tí mọ understanding country o. Ṣé mọ̀ pé what prepare central bank before the independence of Nigeria? Because based on intimo kanisin, what commenced operation ní 1959, but there was a CBN Act of 1958. Ẹ mọ̀ pé àìtí gba independent in 1960. Èèyàn kan wá náà ti gba country. So, ntẹ̀fí máa think of it. Kí ni Akeem Kolawole sọ ni, even if they get $900 billion, 90% of that money will be shared between those criminal politicians. Nigeria is a scam. Baba mi Boye ni, with the bad record of the politicians, the gullible idiot still follow them. Yoruba be wise, here and are there to the voice of Koiki Media for liberation. Daddy, mi wá máa fẹ́ liberation. Àwọn èèyàn wá fẹ́. Dodo mi ti fẹ́ ready àtẹ̀yìn Ọlọ́run. Ọmọ ìdí ẹ̀yìn yẹn nísìn. Ọmọ ìgbà sí ìgbà nísìn. Wà á ríran o. Dodo àtẹ̀yìn. Sórí ẹ̀yìn tí Dúpẹ́ sọ fún pòun ti gba country. Even nígbà tó fẹ́ set up Nigeria, wọ́n prepare central bank. Mo kí mọ́mí mi Comfort Ológunjà. Most of the books were printed in Nigeria then, with the printing press display at the page. Oṣé. Kapapia. Ẹ má wẹnu mi o. Ọmọ inú wọ́n ṣe ń dé ẹyin mẹ́. How many eggs is this? 3. Mẹ́ta. Mama rántí sínú oúnjẹ mi. Ẹ káàsán mọ́mí mi Comfort. Ṣàlàfíà lẹ̀wà iṣẹ́ ń kọ́ mà. Ẹyin yìí dùn. Chef lọmọ yìí kí ló dé? Mọ̀jà máa wo inú oúnjẹ yìí o. Èyí tí mò ń sọ ni kò máa gbọ́. So Alhaji Aliyu My Boni, mo fẹ́ padà sórí ẹ̀yin tí ẹni ti gba country. Ẹ bá ti dọ́dọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀. Ẹ bèrè pé central bank ẹ bèrè pé bank of Òmìnira bank. Báwo mo tẹ̀ ṣe fẹ́ pronounce àwọn wèrè. Wọ́n náà ti gba country. Wọ́n tún rán ní owó tó ń gbà láti inú Nàìjíríà. Bàbá mi Omitola ní happy eating. Ẹ bá mi re, ẹ tàdí mẹ́yìn kẹ́ wá jẹun. Wà á tàdí mẹ́yìn ni, wà á tàdí mẹ́yìn, tàdí mẹ́yìn, tàdí mẹ́yìn, tàdí mẹ́yìn, tàdí mẹ́yìn. Dòdò dẹ̀ tí wọ́n London ní sin Ọlọ́run. Ó débẹ̀. Ẹ bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ìjìnlẹ̀. Ẹni wọ́n ti gba country. Fair enough. Ẹ wá ní kí ìjìnlẹ̀ sọ fún yín pé banking system wo ló máa lò. Just reason. Everything Nigeria na scamanja. Ẹ bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ìjìnlẹ̀ pé banking system wo ló fi operate òmìnira 2022 yẹn. Torí pé ìta gbọ́ ni pé owó tó ń gbà kò tẹ̀sí àwọn tó máa tẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ níkàn mi pẹ̀lú owó tó ń gbà ìyẹn tẹ̀sí problem. But inú àkáǹtì Nàìjíríà ni wọ́n ti ń gbowó yẹn sí. I don't think some of you understand what is a country. Ẹ kàn ń gbọ́ country. Ẹ kàn ń gbọ́ country. Ẹ ní understanding ẹ̀ rárá. 1958 ni wọ́n establish act. Ṣé dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé as at 1958 yẹn àìtí gba independent. That means pé àwọn òyìnbó àwọn ni wọ́n prepare gbogbo ilé fún wa. Bí a dúpẹ́ dẹ̀ tí ń prepare banking tó máa lò fún yín o, I don't know. Bí a kọ̀ jí láàárọ̀ ọjọ́ kan, a sọ fún wa pé bank ta máa fi operate lélẹ̀. Triple DRS ní Òmìnira Bank of Onítìrì. Ìyá mi ní stop talking and eating. Àwọn nọ́ọ̀sì mọ́dà ti débi àwọn health sector ọ̀dà ẹ̀yà parí ètò. Máa padà wá tí bá ti jẹun tán. Mo máa take advice mọ́mì mi. Ẹ mọ̀ pé health sector làwọn wà. Wọ́n ní kò dáa máa jẹun. Koiki, when shall an average Yoruba man eat a delicious food as you are eating now? Tinubu máa provide fún wọn, kò sí tó kàn mí o. Ẹ̀yà parí ètò. Máa padà wá later. Tàbá lè wá ṣe full program lórí software. All those Òmìnira have lost control of the common sense. Bon appétit, Koiki. Koiki, Òmìnira account, Òmìnira Central Bank. Ẹ bèèrè lọ́wọ́ ìjìnlẹ̀ pé tó bá ti wá gbé interim yẹn dé bank wo ló máa fi operate nínú country náà. Mad people all over the place. Àníri jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Mo máa kẹ́ ẹ̀ mọ́ àti ìgbà ìpáwọn èèyàn tèmi wà lórí Mixella. Mo kí ń jàre. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n take a break. Màá padà wá ní títí 1 o'clock. A ṣe full program nígbà yẹn. Bye for now.